channel. Wanted to talk with you guys here on Cattail Acres a little bit about dealing with setbacks. As you know, that we've had several over the last several years, really since 2020, so about 3 years. We've had a lot of setbacks on figuring out what we wanted and kind of getting the process started on building the house. But it's taught us a lot about how to deal with setbacks, and I wanted to kind of share some of those tips with you guys, just in case, you know, because you never know when someone is going to need to hear a little tidbit or so about how to deal with it, even though it's stuff you probably already know. I will be reading, so if I look away, it's mostly because I'm reading. I have a lot of thoughts and I don't want to get things mixed up. So every single endeavor that we undertake has the potential to encounter setbacks. Tom and I have dealt with quite a bit of this here on the homestead, and perhaps the hardest thing to manage is expectations at the outset. And it's really, really easy, especially for me, because I imagine a lot. That's who I am. That's what my job is my imagination. So I'm always thinking about what could be, you know, what if. And for Tom, he does the same thing, but kind of, what if I do this and then I don't like it, or we find something better, you know? Mine is more daydreaming and procrastinating in that way. His is a little more, but what if we don't like it? But managing expectations at the outset will really help to allay frustration, which is really the first major obstacle in dealing with setbacks, is dealing with the frustration itself. If possible, if you can manage your expectations at the beginning of a project, so say you're writing a novel and you're say, okay, on a really good day, I can write 2,000 words and that's what I'm gonna do every day until I'm done. That's kind of an unrealistic expectation of yourself, because that's a really good day. Take that really good day and your really, really bad worst day and maybe give it something in the middle. That way you don't expect yourself to be done in half the time, and then when you reach that half the time, you get frustrated because you haven't met your expectations. So if you can just say, okay, it might work out this way, it might not, either way it's going to be okay, and we'll just keep making steps. So that's the hardest thing, is the frustration. Another way you can help fight that frustration is by taking brain breaks. Work on it as hard and as long as you can and want to, but then give yourself permission to take a brain break. And that means you don't think about the project at all. So you got to find something else to put your mind on, to occupy your mind. And that can be anything from self-care, yoga, that can be taking a walk, it can be watching a TV show, just anything to give your mind a break and let your like sympathetic nervous system unwind just a little bit. Because especially if you did get frustrated, then take that break, come back to it with fresh eyes. And then that's the next tip, is to return to the project. You have to come back or it doesn't count as a brain break. Return to the project when you're refreshed so that you can take a fresh look at it. Planning ahead for those brain breaks and for those setbacks is the best way to combat that frustration. The third piece of that equation is overwhelm. Oh, wait, that was the same one. Ah, see, I wrote it down so I wouldn't get it mixed up, and I still did. But anyway, that can help with the overwhelm. You know, it's easy because, especially with a big project like building a house, setting up a homestead, there are so many moving parts. There's so many variables. And it's inevitable that you're going to have some kind of setbacks or something's not going to go according to plan. But if you plan for that, and instead of looking at the entire project all the time, look at that in sometimes. But then give yourself permission to just do chunks. Take a step. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I got all choked up. Literally. Lastly, the most essential thing, the biggest piece of that puzzle is to just not quit. You know, coming back to the project, taking the next step, whatever that is. Finding those creative solutions and focusing on solutions instead of focusing on, oh, I've got all this to do. Oh, there's no way I'm going to ever get it done. You got to shift focus. We all do this. I do this. Tom does this. Everybody does this. And I am probably the world's worst, you know, about overwhelming myself with all that must be done. But if we can break it into chunks, manage our expectations, and take those brain breaks and avoid overwhelm, it makes it a whole lot easier to keep taking those steps forward and to just not quit. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. It's always a pleasure, and my eyes are still watering. I promise I'm not crying. It's okay. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to post another video here probably either this weekend or next weekend. I got my Save the Cat Writes a Novel review that's coming up. And then we have some announcements. Yes. So some of our setbacks have been overcome. Not all of them by any means. And I will be making an announcement about that shortly. You guys, until next time, be safe, be well, and we'll see you.